Okay, so it's session 2, AS French reading, and we're looking at the gap fill question. So aims of our session today are how to tackle the gap fill question. We're looking at unit 2 of section B of the AS paper, and that's the reading question 4. So we're going to have a look at how to tackle this question and also have some practice with it. Okay. General tips to start with. Really important that we revise our grammar and vocabulary. Weak grammar and vocabulary really do show in this question, and that's why people find it difficult. So read as much as possible a variety of texts and topic areas. Complete past papers. Always practice past papers. Any text that you can come across, really useful. Use tools like Textivate. There are some free tools out there that you can make your own gap fills. But just generally do your own. Handwritten ones is fine, so swap with your peers, do some for each other. You can also do your own a few months ahead and just leave them for a bit so you forget the answers, and then practice with also with listening maybe. Listening gap fills will also help this task. Okay, so let's have a little look at the question itself. How we have this question in front of us, what do we need to do? Have a quick read of the text for gist, so like have a quick scan through what's going on here. Look at the words, read those words in the box, which tends to be at the bottom of the question, on the question paper, the bottom of the page. Annotate them, write on there information. Is it a verb? Is it an adjective? Is it a noun? Maybe some people like to color code these. Maybe have one color for adjectives, one color for nouns, one color for verbs, whatever works for you. Or you might just write, V or ADJ for adjective at the side. Also write down the meaning. Think, what do these words mean? And have they got more than one meaning maybe? Read the text carefully, including the translation. You're given the translation, which is the next question on the paper. So that text really helps, although you're not actually translating it for this part of the, in this question itself, the translation comes next. It really helps you with the context. Take each gap one at a time. Really important to do this. Try to anticipate what you might expect. So think of each one at a time. Try to sort of second guess what's coming next, what's happening. And look out for clues. I always say we're like detectives here. We're trying to find little clues that are going to help us work out this missing word. Think about synonyms, cognates, false friends, tenses, context. Who's narrating the text, person narrating the text, etc. Okay, so read through the text again once the gaps are filled in. That's the last thing that you should be doing, to check, does it all make sense? Do you have the right words as far as you think? Have you done everything you can for it to make sense? Does it make sense? If it doesn't, you probably haven't got the right words somewhere. Okay, the first thing I thought we could do as a little practice are just these individual sentences. These are they're not linked at all together, but they're sentences that have been chosen, sort of gaps that, sort of things that come up quite often. And let's just see if we can see what's going to go here. Quite often they'll give you, they always do, they give you, there's only 5 in the actual paper, 5 words to fill in, okay? But you have a lot of words to choose from. Just as you have here, there are quite a few words and some of them are very similar. So you have to have a little think, what do you think is going to go in each gap here? If there's any that you have spotted and you think, yes, I'm really sure of those, pop them in the chat and Madam Lloyd will give you a thumbs up if you're correct or not. Okay, I'm going to give you a few moments. What you could also do is pause the recording to give yourself more time, yeah, to complete the task. That's another alternative to practice this here. So when we're looking at, for example, these words here, we've got tell, we've got different ways of spelling tell. So we're looking at masculine, feminine, singular and plural, aren't we here? Okay. Does the sentence have a construction that structure that you're going to need to follow it with an infinitive? Because we have some infinitives. Which ones are infinitives? Like jouer, for example. Être, découvrir. Okay, we've got various infinitives. Empêcher. What do we have with il faut, for example? What comes next? We don't have que, so it's not a subjunctive. Il faut plus what comes after that for number 9. Bien que, for example, here. What are we going to put here after bien que, this construction? Les problèmes de l'adolescence. Okay. So, having a little think. Numéro 2, for example. Des coucher du soleil. Do you think because got a gap before the noun here, do we think there's going to be maybe an adjective? I'm going to move on the slide and start looking through each word here. So l'été dernier, here we're looking at last year. What happened last year? Last summer, in fact. Okay, so the seasons in French are all in the they're all masculine. Okay, so you had a choice of dernier and dernière, so it's the masculine version you need here. So it's last year. Another clue for it being last year is the fact that you've got the past tense here, haven't you? Je suis parti. Where have you gone? You've left for where? Where are you going to? You're going to somewhere. Here you've got the country. And a lot of countries are feminine, aren't they? But Canada is a masculine one. So we need the gap, au Canada. And then in order to, afin de, this construction here, after this, you're going to need an infinitive. So afin de découvrir le Québec. So discover. So does it read correctly once you've got these words? So last year, l'été dernier, and you know after the adjective comes after the noun here. Je suis parti au Canada. So I left for Canada or to Canada in order to discover, in order to plus infinitive, in order to visit or discover Quebec. Okay, visit, we haven't got visit, we got something similar, discover. Okay, that all makes sense. A sentence on its own makes sense there. So we're looking for an adjective here. We're looking for a plural adjective. So which ones in our section here are plural adjectives? Okay. If you have a little look, we've got merveilleux, merveilleuse here at the bottom. Marvelous. Okay. What are we going to have? We're going to have merveilleux. We're going to choose this one because coucher du soleil is masculine. Masculine. Coucher, masculine plural. Yeah. Okay. I know if you had a dictionary, you would check it, you know, so you're just having to work out masculine, feminine. Educated guess sometimes, you know, you remember which ones are masculine, feminine. Okay, numéro 3. Le français est avec l'anglais l'une des deux seules langues sur tous les continents. Okay. What do we think fits here? What word is going to go in here? One of the 2 languages that are spoken maybe on all continents. Yeah. We're going to choose this parler. You've got a choice of 3 here. Why isn't it the first one? It's talking about two languages. So it's languages. It's agreeing with languages, which is feminine plural. Yeah. So it cannot be either of these 2. You've got 2 singular ones here. And equally, you haven't been given the choice with just 1 E, okay? It's double ES here, but it's the feminine plural that you need because it's agreeing with long. So With avant de, you know you need an infinitive, okay? So avant de is always followed by an infinitive. And in this case, it's going to be jouer, because jouer au volley, that makes sense, doesn't it? So before playing volleyball, they had lunch. So they had some lunch. So checking through to make sure you translate it afterwards and check it makes sense. Nous allons faire du vélo. Here you've got the perfect infinitive, haven't you? So you need to remember arriver is an être verb. So you need to put être in there. Après être arrivé. It's plural. It agrees with the nous here at the start. Nous allons faire du vélo après être arrivé. After we've arrived, okay? After having arrived, we're going to go and do some cycling. Ils ont écouté de la musique, and here again, you've got another perfect infinitive. Après, here you've got lever. Lever, we need to remember, is reflexive. So what extra little bit is going to be here? Again, it's all reflexive verbs go with être, don't they? But you need the little s here, apostrophe, s apostrophe être. Okay, so it's linking into il, so which is why it's the s here. S'être levé. Okay, mon frère. Next one, numéro 7. So my brother spoke yesterday. Chances are you speak to someone. Parler à, don't we? So here we're missing an indirect pronoun. So where is the answer here? You have a choice of les and leur. They're wanting to check here that you understand that after parler, you parler à someone. So it's the indirect one you need here, which is going to be leur. My brother spoke to them, which is leur, isn't it? It wouldn't be les. Okay, 8, numéro 8. They're checking here. Do you understand depuis? So I have been living here, although it's the present tense here at the start. I've been living here since I was born, since my birth. Okay, so depuis has the present tense up here. So depuis, since. Okay. So this one we said needs an infinitive. Il faut. Il faut what? What infinitive here makes sense? We've already had jouer. Être we've used. What other one? S'être we've also used. Empêcher is an infinitive here, isn't it? That's the other one here. So we must, it's necessary to empêcher, prevent people de prendre de something risque. So again, adjective in front of this noun. Such risks, that would make sense, wouldn't it? Which such is it going to be? Okay. Masculine plural for risque, yeah, de tel risque. And this last one, it's checking that we remember that with bien que is followed by the subjunctive. So bien que les problèmes de l'adolescence soient grands, okay. I don't think in this list there are any other subjunctives, okay. So it's going to be that one. Soit grand, on finira par se débrouiller. Okay, so bravo. So you're checking, you go back through and you check all the translation, making sure that it makes sense. Yeah. Okay, this next article is an actual, it's an article. Okay, so it actually helps if you have the context, like in your exams, you have context. So, use it to give some help if they're, if the sentences are all joined and following through. So it's a text here where we need to sort of think about what words are we going to put in. Again, have a little think, see if you can work out any. This again is time to pause if you want to complete the task and have more time to do so. Yeah, maybe just type in 1 or 2 if any jump out at you on the text here and you think, I know that one. Okay, let's have a little look at this first one here. Isabelle n'est pas obsédée par. Remember what we said to do first of all. I'm not doing all of the steps now, but you need to go through it, read it for gist, and then look at these words in the box. The box is on the left here, sort of on just the words that are going to be filled in. I think you've got one extra here. that isn't in the text itself. So think what these words mean. Are they nouns? Are they verbs? Are they adjectives, etc.? Yeah. What are they agreeing with? If they are they masculine, singular, and so on, plural? Okay. Somebody's not obsessed by something. What is she not obsessed by? When you have a read of this, you have a régime, manger, éviter de manger des choses grasses. So you know it's all to do with, this seems to be to do with weight and so on. We have this word here, mannequin, models, activité physique, physical fitness, yeah. Poids is weight, isn't it? Okay, so what would fit in here? Not obsessed by. Here we think it's going to be a noun, isn't there, in this first gap? Poids. It's Isabel. It's her weight. Yeah, son poids. Okay, and sort of opposite to, contrary to some of her certain friends, the ses amis, her friends. Yeah. What is going to go in this next gap here? Des is a clue. It's plural, isn't it? It's showing us there's something plural, and plural noun is going to follow here for number 2. If we can go a little bit too far, if we compare ourselves to who, what people would we be comparing ourselves to here? The word mannequin, yes, plural, and these are people. En essayant de leur ressembler, so you're trying to sort of look like them, resemble them. Okay. Au lieu de suivre un régime, elle garde la forme en faisant something. What is she doing? She's à ce qu'elle mange, ou plutôt en mangeant something. Okay. Faire, here we're going to think about what would you be doing? Paying attention. Faire attention. Okay, so attention is a good phrase, and after faire, you need with attention you need the verb faire. So it's faire attention à ce qu'elle mange, to what she's eating. Yeah. And what might you be eating? En mangeant what? What also might you be eating? You might be eating in a certain way, or rather, so you're paying attention to what you eat, or rather eating. Would something like balanced work here? By avoiding to eat things which are too fatty, to the sort of fatty substances, or too sugary maybe. Okay, so here we're going to have balanced, and it works really well. En mangeant équilibré, en évitant de manger souvent des choses trop grasses ou trop sucrées. So too sort of fatty or too sugary, yeah, the substances, okay, things that you're eating. And what else might you be doing? You might be devoting a little of your time each day to what? What here would you, what here would work? You've got à here, so l'activité physique would fit in really nicely. And then go back through the text, check it again, read it through. Does it now make sense? And I think when you read it back, all of the words there, they link together. The whole context works, doesn't it? It all works together. It all makes sense. So here you've got a plural. Grasse was plural. Yeah, they're referring to the shows here. So just check it all. Does it all fit, and does it make sense? Yes, this one does. Okay, coming on now to some past paper questions. Lisez cet article et mettez le mot correct qui manque dans les blancs. This is the cue for it being the gap fill questions. Question 4. Read this article, and you're putting the correct word, which is missing in the gaps. Yeah. So this first one is taken from the 2017 paper. So again, read it through, skim it through. You've got 5 gaps here, haven't you, when you do that? This underlining is the translation that you will come on to next, but it helps with the context. It gives you a bit more of an idea what's going on. It follows on, and it's the next part that you translate. And then you come back to these, you go to these words at the bottom there. You've got quite a number of words here, and you only need to choose 5 of them. There are only going to be 5 correct answers here. So you've got a lot of words that are there to try and trick you, if you like. Yeah, they're there. You've got to eliminate some of them. Okay, so again, make some annotate, make some notes. Any that you know what they mean. You know, they jump out at you and you know, I know that. Okay, what, you know, write it down so you know, is it a verb? Which ones are verbs? Which ones maybe masculine? Okay, which ones are nouns and so on. What tense, if you can work out the tense already, pop the tense there as well. Yeah, so annotate on your paper. You're allowed to do that. Okay. These answers then, you've got 17 choices here, only 5. So this is bits where you would put, you know, what does this mean? So, oh, we know is to the, yeah, and it's masculine. It's masculine. So this is day, isn't it? Masculine. Okay. Verb here, pass. What tense is it, and so on. Yeah. Okay. So work out what you think those mean. And then go back. Sorry. Go back through the text and read again. Okay. Looking at this here, just a few little notes to help us on our way with this. Okay. So you hear that first answer, this first gap, d'attendu. Chances are it's sort of dating from, it's talking about, you know, a time, isn't it? What sort of time indicator? There's a noun needed here. Yeah, du, after du, noun, de leur mariage, something that will fit in here. Okay, let's look at this next one as well. We'll come back to them in a second. So he's he's saying lui, emphatic here, and elle for contrast. Yeah, so lui, he is for emphasis here, he is assis, he's sitting down, yes, sur un fauteuil, he's seated on an armchair, sévère et raide, okay, sort of feels like it comes over as being severe and sort of a bit stiff, raide. Elle, chances are we've just found out what he is doing, so what position is this person in? Elle, her, la main posée sur son bras, hand, so put, you know, resting on her arm, so posed on her arm, positioned on her arm. So chances are we need a word to do with sitting, standing, something like that. What's the position? Okay, so we read a little bit more in the text. When there's no gap, don't ignore the sentence, because it just gives you ideas what's going on here. So you still need to work through what does it mean. Elle est tombée malade, sa famille était pauvre, il a fait soigner grâce à de bons médecins. And then quand Avram, here comes the gap. Okay, so she fell ill. Her family was poor. He looked after her thanks to some good doctors. So we make sure we understand what's going on. Quand Avram is a name, isn't it? A good chance it's a name here, a person, capital letter. Something, demande si elle a aimé son mari. So demande si elle a aimé son mari. So he's asking if she, or asks if she loved her husband. Yeah, asking who. You ask normally to somebody something, don't you? So maybe he's asking her. That would fit. So elle le regarde. She looks at him. Him. So here we could maybe put something here, because we've got an infinitive afterwards. Is there a construction that's going to need to be followed by an infinitive? Yeah. So we need to look at those words again. Which one would be followed by an infinitive? C'était un homme bon, so really good man. Sans lui, je something morte. With je, we can see that we're going to need to put a verb in here. First person singular, because we've got je, so we need a first person singular verb ending. What tense? Yeah, what tense do we think? Yeah, was. Without him, maybe I would. Yeah, so maybe we'll be looking at conditional for this. So again, here's your text. Here's your chance to pause and try and work through what you think the answers are going to be. If there's any that you definitely know, pop them in the chat for Madam Lloyd. 5 answers then you're looking at. Okay, let's go through the answers here. So, datant du jour de le mariage. So, du, day is masculine singular, so that fits with do, doesn't it? Do is a clue there. Dating from the day of their marriage. So that makes sense as well. She is debout, in contrast to him. He is assis. He is sitting down. She's standing. Okay. Avram lui demande, asks her, asks to her, doesn't he? After demander à, we need indirect. So it's lui demande. Okay. And this infinitive here, that would follow if we used sans. Elle le regarde sans comprendre. She looks at him without understanding. That makes good sense, okay? Et dit, c'était un homme bon, sans lui, je serais morte. I would be dead, okay? If you put in savait, you got a chance of putting savait here. That just wouldn't make sense. Yeah, the tense, if you translate it, just doesn't make sense there. So just, put other alternatives in and ask yourself, does it make sense? If it, write something in pencil if you're unsure. See, does it make sense? Put a question mark, try more than one till you find the one that really does read really nicely. Go back through the text again. Go back to the beginning and take that time to read it again, check it makes sense, and carry on, read the translation. Does it follow on the second paragraph, the bit that you're going to translate next? And we'll look at that translation in the next session. Okay, with me. Okay, so let's move on to another one. We've got 2018 paper here. Again, question 4, the gap fill. You're doing the same thing. Look, scan it, quickly gist, read it for gist. What's going on here? It's telling you what sort of text it is. It's a revue du film. Again, it's a review, it's a film review. So it gives you an idea already. So read everything here to do with it. Okay, read all the way through and then have a read of the translation, the part that you translate later, but read that second paragraph. They give it now, because it follows on, it gives you context. Okay, then go to the bottom and annotate these words. Do you know what they mean? Which ones are nouns? Which ones are adjectives? If you want to put them in columns, some people do that. Put a little box with nouns in, put a box with verbs in, or just color code them, or just write verb, adjective next to the word and put what it means in English. Okay, you've got space to do this, either above or underneath the word, yeah? Okay, so, excuse me, it's just jumped. Okay, I think it's just my fault. Okay, so here goes. So 5 answers, you're given 18 choices this time. So again, working out what you think. A few little clues here. Let's have a little look at the gaps again. So, peu means little or shortly here. Could it be something's the acquiring of this acquisition of this mythical navire, Calypso? Calypso is the name of the ship. So what did he? So this is the name of the film. Yeah, 1949 it started, and Cousteau, he sort of set himself up. He went to Marseille with his wife. He settled in Marseille, near Marseille, and his 2 children. Okay, so we get through the text. Remember, don't ignore sentences just because they haven't got gaps. Here you've got feminine, la, and famille. So the chances are there's an adjective here because it's in front of la famille. What adjective will go in front to describe the family? They're enjoying this Mediterranean climate. Okay, but we've got 2 verbs next. Observing and photographing what? Lay something. So plural noun would go here. What are they taking photos of? What are they're taking photos of something. What? So that's not going to be enough, though. It's no longer enough for him. Cousteau, he wants to devote his life to the oceans. So even if it means doing something, sacrificing something. Now, word order here. we sacrifice something in English, but this goes in front here, the word that's missing, okay? And quitter doesn't mean to leave, yeah? So even if it means this, okay? Grâce à son invention, you might not know what un scaphandre autonome is, but maybe work out what's going on here, because you don't actually need to know that to work out the next bit. Qui is going to be a verb here, isn't it? After this construction, qui, followed by de, yeah? So plus the infinitive here, yeah? So think about it. It's got de respirer, yeah? Something, de respirer sous l'eau. What verb would fit here? That then has de after it. Il a découvert le fond des mers. Okay, let's have a little look. Again, pause, fill this in your own time. If you know any gaps already, have a good guess, you think you know what they're photographing. What is the plural noun? Number 3, 2 plural nouns, poisson or chanson. If you look at your text, you've got 2 plural nouns there. You can eliminate, choose, eliminate all the rest. There's only 2 to choose from here for that answer. Yeah, and do that with each one. So famille, feminine, adjective. Where are the feminine adjectives here? You've got dernière is feminine. You've got petite here. Which one works? Which one makes sense? Yeah. Sacrificing something. What would you do? Even if it means sacrificing, what word would fit there? Could it be everything? You sacrifice everything? Where is that word? Okay. Okay, let's have a little look at what we've got here. Sorry. Going back through here. Okay, so peu avant l'acquisition du mythique navire Calypso, Cousteau s'est installé. Okay, and this was peu avant, so shortly avant. Shortly before, that fits nicely, doesn't it? Shortly before the acquisition of the mythical ship. And then we have numéro 2, la petite famille, his little family, his small family, yeah, is enjoying the climate. You wouldn't say his last family. It doesn't make sense. Is enjoying the climate, okay? Les poissons, mais observez et photographiez les poissons. Chances are talking about the depth of the ocean and him going down into the sea. That we're taking pictures of fish, not chansons, songs. Okay, so that would fit nicely. He's sacrificing, even if he's sacrificing everything, tout, yeah, à tout sacrifier. That would fit. That would go in front, so that would work well. And this invention, yeah, this sort of diving suit, which is like independent, breathes on its own, allows him, permet de respirer sous l'eau, allows him to be able to breathe underwater. So permet de, permet is always followed by de, and then you'd need the infinitive. So that would work really nicely. Okay. Are there any other verbs there that would work? Invite. You invite à somebody, so it can't be invite. Yeah. And it could be évite de respirer, but that doesn't make sense, does it? You're wanting to say allows him to do something. This machine, this invention, this diving suit. Okay, it doesn't avoid him from breathing. So éviter wouldn't make sense there. So it couldn't be that. So it's eliminating, isn't it? Eliminating ones which don't make sense, putting the ones in which do. Okay, last question here. I'll run through it really quickly. I know because we started a little bit late, so I'm going to finish with this last one here, which is the 2019. And again, we have gaps. We need to go through the text, scans, skim it really quickly for gist. Okay, just quickly go through and then look down at the translation as well. The paragraph that's underlined, go through it all, read it all through once, home in on those words at the bottom. You've got a lot of them again. Which ones do you know? What can you understand what they mean? Write down, annotate, write down their meaning. Also put down, are they masculine, feminine? Are they nouns? Are they adjectives? Are they verbs? And so on. Okay, once you've done that, go back and have another read. And then let's start taking one gap at a time. So 5 answers needed, but you have 16 choices. They make it difficult, don't they, by giving you quite a number of choices. Okay, so this first one here, mon. We're looking for clues, aren't we? Mon is my, isn't it? It's a possessive adjective, and you're going to need a masculine noun here, aren't you, to go in this gap. So masculine noun. So that will, if you look back here, that you can quite quickly find the nouns and which ones are masculine. Sorry. So village is masculine, but so is where are we? Pays. Okay, pays is masculine. Malady isn't. It's feminine. Peur, la peur would be feminine if it's used as a noun there. So we have a choice really of 2 there, I think. Okay. What makes sense? And here it's knowing really, is Rwanda, is it a country? It's the name of a country or a village? It's the name of a country. So mon pays, c'est le Rwanda. Okay, so I think you're going to find that one is le pays. Okay, read it all. Okay, I'm not going to now, but read it all through. So as I said, even if there isn't a gap to fill in, work out what's going on here and then come to your next gap. So here you're going to need an adjective again. It's going in front of the noun, un climat. And again, it's a masculine adjective, un climat. So it's masculine singular. Yeah. And these nouns, these adjectives and nouns that have been in front, they're all to do with belle maison, des domestiques, de l'espace, everything sounding positive. So you're looking for sort of that sort of positive feel, I think, an adjective which gives a positive feel here. Carrying on through here, we're going to numéro 3. Pourquoi penses-tu que je ma vie ici depuis 20 ans? So we got a depuis clause like we had at the beginning. So we're going to need a present tense here, aren't we? And it's going to be je, first person singular, yeah? After depuis. Okay, so have a little look for a verb. Je, first person singular, so present tense, and just eliminate all the others. Moi, je cherche, numéro 4. La, that gives us a clue that it's a noun. You've got other nouns following. Le confort, so this one, la, you need a feminine noun, singular. And then the very last gap here, on ne craint pas de. De. Craindre de, in infinitive is going to be needed after here. So don't fear, one doesn't fear something because we're different. Okay, so you've got, again, there are a couple of infinitives. You need to make a decision which one makes sense. Yeah, put it into the context here. Which one are you going to choose? So by looking for these clues, these like little red bits on this slide here, you can eliminate a fair number of words, can't you, out of that box, and just home in the ones you think could possibly be the answers. So again, pause the slide, pause your recording, and have a little go at this in your own time. So you have 5 gaps, but quite a number of words to eliminate here. And as we said, read through the translation, the sentences underlined, because that's the translation for the next question. Just read it through to help you with the context. Okay, I'm going to reveal the answers now. So we've got mon pays numéro 1. It's Rwanda, that makes sense. As we said, masculine noun. Okay, un bon climat. Yeah, so adjective here, it's masculine. Froid could fit, un froid climat. You normally say un climat froid, so it would normally be the other way around, but also it doesn't really, you're looking for something positive, like I was saying, yeah? Okay, so un bon climat, it goes really nicely there. Pourquoi penses-tu que je construis ma vie? Now, you could have said, he's saying, why do you think I'm building my life here? Or I have been building rather my life here for 20 years. Why have I been building my life? We've got a choice. We could have had commence, but does that make sense? Both of these are the present tense, which we need to use with depuis. But put it in there and see if it makes sense. Pourquoi penses-tu que je commence ma vie ici depuis 20 ans? Why do you think I have been beginning my life for 20 years? It doesn't make sense, does it? So the construit does fit nicely. Okay, la sécurité, féminine. Je cherche la sécurité, le confort. So good. So that's what the person's looking for. Security, safety, yeah? Fits nicely. You're not going to put la maladie. You're not looking for illness, are you? This person is wanting, they've fled the peacefulness of France to go on an adventure. So they're looking for security. They're looking for comfort, for raising their children in a country, yeah, where on ne craint pas de, we don't fear. What don't we fear? We don't fear dying because we're different. Okay, tuer could fit in there. You could have put tuer as an infinitive, yeah, to kill. Pas de tuer, but it doesn't make sense here, does it? We don't. What are we afraid of? We're not afraid of killing because we're different. We're not afraid of mourir, dying. That one fits, doesn't it? Nicely. So again, working out the context with everything else that's going on here, the whole the whole thing, the text that you have the gaps for, but also that last paragraph. Yeah. Okay, and then read it again. Read it through. Check it all makes sense. Are you happy with it? Yeah. And then if you still have not sure about, maybe there's a choice of two, at that point, it's an educated guess. You know, what one gut feeling, you know, sometimes we have to, at the end of the day, we've tried to look for all the clues, we try to work it out as much as we can. You then go with a gut feeling, what one sounds the best. I've put this one on here for further practice, okay? This isn't a past paper, but have a go at it in your own time. Looking for clues and so on, like we've just been doing. The answers are on this next slide, so obviously, you know, you'll be able to check it afterwards. And to summarize then, what we've been looking at tonight, read through the text, read it all the way through, annotate the words and work out what they mean. So do that, that's your next step, those words that are in that box at the bottom. Use the translation paragraph. Don't ignore this paragraph, you know, the one that's underlined, the sentences which are underlined. So it really does help you with the context. Look for clues to help choose the correct answer, like we've been doing tonight. These little clues, you're a detective. Keep, you know, sniffing out the clues. Work out the meaning of what comes before and after that gap you've got to, in order to work out, you know, the word that's missing. Check it, okay, check it, go back through it. Does it read correctly? You know, does it sound okay? Does it make sense? So once you've worked out that meaning, and practice as much as possible. Yeah, so listening gap fills, or just make some, you know, make some with some friends and swap them. But just keep practicing the gap fills and that vocabulary and grammar that you need for other parts of your papers as well. You know, just make sure you are doing as much grammar as possible, because it really is checking on this and the vocabulary that goes with the topic areas that you're studying.